Hey everybody, I am going live. Just wanted to say hello to you guys. I actually look kind of crazy. I just got out of the shower. I just finished, I had my training session tonight with Elle. Shout out to my trainer, the Elle Ross. For you, those of you who follow me on Instagram, if you've seen my Instagram feed, I repost crazy videos of me struggling that Elle Ross takes of me. So, I just worked out today, but I'm actually working on a couple things, and just wanted to hop on here and just share a couple of thoughts that I was having. So actually, I also wanted to test out this live on my page because I've only done it on my personal page. I don't know how this works on my business page. So for those of you, if you're out there, shout me out, give me a thumbs up, a peace sign, a hand, a hello, something. I don't know if you're there. I can't see anything. But anyway, so I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about some thoughts that I was having. So the end of this month is when there's a day, I think it's the 26th is Women's Equality Day. So for those of you who don't know me, maybe you're new to my page, I did see I have a couple of new subscribers. So actually I'm going to do probably another video where I just kind of talk about who I am and what it is that I do, just for the people who are new. But it's Women's Equality Day, and so for those of you who don't know me, I'm an empowerment and lifestyle coach, and I work with women. Typically, the women I work with are strong women. They're the go-to women in everyone's lives. They're the people that everyone goes to for advice, for help, for whatever, right? So they're those strong women, and so I'm all about empowerment. I'm all about encouraging women to be confident and, stand their ground and go after the things that they want, and, so just to be confident in who they are. So I was thinking about, just kind of different things I want to do for the month and just some content. And what came across my mind was just how a lot of times when you're a woman in that position, you're the strong person in people's lives, a lot of times you get overlooked. And I feel like a lot of times those women, even if they do need help, they very rarely ask for help, okay? So I just want to kind of share a little bit about me and kind of how I got to that point to make the decision to even want to work with women. So I just remember back when I was in college, I was thinking I was going to go to school, I was going to get this degree, and I was going to graduate, and I was going to have this amazing career, and I was just going to make all this money, and I was just going to be this rich person, okay? This is what I really thought. And then you get out into the real world, and then you realize, okay, it's not really all that it's cracked up to be, or it's not all that you've envisioned, right? So I know there's a point to what I'm saying. So I'm saying all to say that I was in a career or at a job, because I don't even call it a career, because honestly, I feel like with a career, it has a different type of energy. It's like, there's like a lot of training that goes behind it, or a lot of skills, and like, you just put a lot into it, and there's a progression of sorts, right? But when I got out of school, it just wasn't all what it was cracked up to be. I thought I was gonna, have this, big position. I was gonna be making all this money, and it didn't turn out that way. So I spent a lot of time in a job that I really didn't like. I was completely miserable. There were parts about it that I did like. There were things that, I was grateful for, or things that I, really look forward to. And to be honest, I got a lot out of what I was doing. So I was doing consulting work, and I actually still do that now. I actually just do it more independently. But I was doing consulting work, and I found myself in situations a lot where I was, being like trying to or being asked to compromise who I was, or being told that I wasn't, enough of this, or I wasn't, I wasn't, management material, or I didn't have those, leadership skills, or it was just always something. And so the mark always kept moving, and I was trying to get training and trying to do all these things to keep up, and it became really exhausting. And it just got to the point where I felt just miserable in my job, you know what I mean? And I was complaining about it all the time, and just, it just wasn't working for me. And I know, like, for people on the outside looking in, they probably were like, well, I don't, if they heard me complain or if they saw me, they'd be like, okay, what is the problem? If you look at a person's life from the outside, it looks like, oh, well, they have this job, and, look at the car that they drive, and look at the house that they live in. And, they tend to focus on a lot of the material things. And I feel like there are probably a lot of women who are also in that same position right now. They're maybe in jobs or careers that, maybe financially, they're really stable and they're doing well. And, maybe they're happy with the money that they're making, but they may not necessarily be happy with other aspects of their job, and they're probably not saying anything because they don't want to come off like as they're ungrateful, or, they're not appreciative, or, like they're kind of complaining about, having a life that's, not so, that's bad, but it's really not bad, if you understand what I'm saying. So the reason why I went into this coaching business, and the reason why I want to help other women in that position, is because I stayed in that situation for a really long time. I'm talking year after year after year. I just continue to be in a position, or continue to do work, or have jobs that I really didn't like, or that really didn't bring any fulfillment, didn't make me feel good about myself, really, at the end of the day. And I just continued to stay in it because I didn't know what else to do. Okay? So I feel like there are a lot of women out there who are in those positions, like they don't want to come off as ungrateful, or, I don't know, maybe they just don't want to be looked down upon. And I think a lot of times for me, the reason why I stayed so long, because when I say year after year, I'm talking like double-digit years. Okay, I'm talking a good, let me see, like 13, 14 years I'm talking, okay? So, and the funny thing is, I didn't realize how unhappy, or I didn't realize I complained about my job so much until some of my friends, we would be in conversation and I'd be like, oh, yeah, you hate your job. They would use the word hate. And I'm like, I don't know if I would say hate, because I don't really use the word hate. Like, it's very, that's a strong word to me. So for me to hate something, it has to be something like really, really extreme. So, but what it told me was like, okay, that's how you're coming off. The way that you're talking about it year after year after year, it's coming off as though you hate it. And so I don't think it's that other, like, women out there hate their jobs. I think it's just they don't know what to do. They don't, like, they're not finding fulfillment in that thing, and so they don't really know what else to do, right? So I think there's a couple of categories. So I think there are people who actually know what they want to do, or maybe they have a passion for something and there's something else they'd rather be doing, but because they have, a husband, or, kids, or, responsibilities, they can't just like quit their job, right? And go after their passion, because that just doesn't, like, realistically, you still got to eat, you got to live, right? So, that's just not a smart thing to do. And then there's also women who, I think, they don't really know what they want to do. So they know that they don't like where they are, and they don't want to be in that position, and it doesn't satisfy them. There's no gratification out of it, but it's like, well, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just going to keep doing this. So that would be me. That's the category I fell in. Because, there were things that I really liked and enjoyed, but in my mind I was like, well, how am I going to make money doing that? You know what I mean? Or how am I going to, like, and also you get to a certain point where you're like, okay, well, I've been doing this job, or I've had this career, and I've progressed. So, like, your salary may increase, or, new responsibilities come, and so it's like, okay, so I'm going to go from where I am right now back to zero. So the thought of that is scary too. So because you don't really know, you're like, all right, well, I'm just going to keep doing this. And then I feel like there are women who, it's like okay, so they think that it may be their job or maybe their career, and it could possibly be that, but it's not just that. It could be that they need to do something else, but it's really trying to figure out, okay, maybe it's the job itself, maybe it's the company, maybe it's the organization, maybe it is the role, maybe, the field you're in, let's say it's the medical field or something like that. Say, I don't know, you're you're a sonographer, okay? And maybe you're not happy doing that. But maybe if you were a nurse, or maybe if you were an anesthesiologist or something, I don't know, like maybe if you changed the path a little bit, you would be a little bit happier, right? So it's really just trying to figure out kind of where you fit and how you can change whatever that is that you're not feeling good about, how you can move it in the direction that you want to go, right? So, I think that's just a common theme with a lot of women, especially a lot of, like, I would say, like, professional women. I mean, and it doesn't even necessarily, you don't have to have a degree necessarily, but just if you're out in the world working, you know what I mean? You're trying to make ends meet, or, maybe you initially had one job or one maybe dream or idea that you wanted to achieve, and then, as time progressed, or maybe as things moved on, your feelings about it changed, or your thoughts about it changed. I think it's just hard for people to, once they start off a certain path, to change direction, and especially for women, there's like all this pressure, right? Because again, I'm talking about the strong women. They do everything. They're everything to everybody. They're taking care of everybody, taking care of themselves, taking care of their kids, taking care of the man, taking care of other family members, other friends. They're looked at as the people who have it all together. They're just, doing the most, and, they never really complain. You never really see them sweat. But just because you don't see them, it doesn't mean that's not what's happening. And a lot of times those women don't have anybody to really talk to. They don't have anybody to go to. And even when they do try to reach out or talk to someone, it's just like you just feel isolated. Sometimes you feel like, okay, well, if I say this to this person, they're not even going to get it. They're going to be like, girl, what you talking about? What you complaining about? What's going on? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You're making all that money, and so you feel sad. Oh, okay. It's just people, if they're not in your shoes, sometimes they can't relate. And sometimes they can't even empathize, right? So I just want to encourage other women to, if you are in that situation, don't be discouraged, or don't feel like, this is gonna be your life forever and ever, okay? There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just trying to understand and figure out where you are and where it is that you're trying to go. So that's, like I said, why I started doing the coaching, why I am in this role and in this position, and kind of why I want to move my life in this way, because I want to help other women who are there and who feel that way. And again, like I said, if you're strong and you're that person, you're not really asking for help. You're not really reaching out. You're just taking it all in and being like, I got it, and, the problem with that is it's okay for a little while, but depending on the type of person you are, that pressure, it builds and builds and builds, and it's not healthy. Anything can happen, physically, mentally, emotionally. So, we just have to be better about looking out for each other as women. We have to be better about, like, having empathy and compassion. Like if your girlfriend is, you can kind of sense she's going through a rough time, and that's the thing, you have to pay attention. Or just put yourself in her shoes. Like, let's say she's like a single mom, and she has like kids, and she's doing everything on her own, and she's like hustling and trying to get stuff done. Like, reach out to her, like, hey, is everything good? Is there anything you need? How can I support you? What can I do? Anything like that. So I feel it's important for us to do that. So, but I just want to, let you all know that if you are feeling that way, if you're maybe in a job or in a career that you just feel like, I don't feel happy, I don't feel fulfilled, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, don't despair. There's help out there for you. There are people that you can talk to. And like I said, this is what I do. So whether it's me, whether it's somebody else, definitely, like reach out, or just look around and just kind of watch people, see what they're talking about, see what they're doing, and also reach out to your other girlfriends, and, just get their thoughts and opinions on stuff like that, because I think part of the reason too is, when you start sharing certain things about what's going on with you, you'll be surprised that other women feel the same way too, or other women have felt the same way, right? Or, that feeling of being lost or being stuck or not knowing what to do or where to go. You're not alone. You're really not alone. So I just wanted to come on and say that real quick. Like I said, if you're not following me on Instagram, you can see, I don't really post in my stories that much. I'm trying to get better with that, but I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I'm not doing a lot. I pretty much do the same thing every day. Actually, I just came back from California, so I did post a couple things in my story that that's not in my typical day. But anyways, if you're following me on there, I post my quick tips. I also post them here. I also post like lots of just quotes for the week, inspirational, just value added things that you could just take with your week, and just like little things to keep you encouraged, right? So if you have any questions, you could feel free to DM me, send me a message on Messenger, and I'll definitely do what I can to help, or just chat with you if you feel like you want to know what coaching is about, or how it could help you, or maybe someone who could benefit from it, right? So maybe it's not you, maybe it's somebody else but yeah, just definitely let me know. No pressure or anything like that. It's strictly whatever information you need, I'm here. All right, so I'll chat with you guys later. I don't want to be too long, because I could go and go, but I'm gonna end it and say good night. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye bye.